Thanks for downloading another segment from the Best of the Classic Metal Show. The Classic Metal Show is heard live on Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. And now here's another piece of Classic Metal Show history on the Best of the Classic Metal Show.
The Classic Metal Show.
That's brand new Rob Halford right there from the Winter Songs release, and that's called Get Into the Spirit, Chris, and we are only in November, but are you ready for Christmas?
Well, I don't know. I think I'm getting the only Christmas present I'm getting right about now.
Well, we're always happy to welcome the Metal God back to the Classic Metal Show. I believe this is the fourth time we've had you on, Rob, so welcome back.
Well, thank you, fellas. Hey, everybody. It's good to be with you again. Yes, the Metal God's getting into the Christmas spirit a little bit. Well, is it early? I mean, it's November, and I think we're already starting to get that Christmas holiday season metal feeling along the way. So, yeah, it's good to speak with you guys once more.
Well, Rob, Chris and I were just talking before the interview, and it's always a thrill for us to have you on the show because, you know, without embarrassing you, and I know you get this all the time, but with your legendary status, we're always amazed that you're so accessible. You know, you're easy to talk to. You always come on the show, and you're always available to the fans to talk to, and that's a very rare thing for a guy with such an iconic status as yourself.
Well, you know, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am without guys like you and without the wonderful fans that support everything that we do in metal. You know, so. Hey, this is just a joy. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you guys and talk about all the great things that are happening in the metal community. And this is always a special time of the year for me personally. So I'm sharing those feelings with the music from Winter Songs, the new Halford 3 release.
Sure. Now, Rob, let's talk about Winter Songs a little bit because I mean I have to be completely honest, when I heard that you were doing a winter/Christmas influenced record, my first thought was, Jesus, what the hell? That's not priest.
You've been smoking.
You know what?
Yeah.
What was it that made you decide? You know, you haven't done a Halford album in almost 10 years, and you come back with a theme record, so to speak.
Okay.
What possessed you to go that direction?
Well, it's two things. Firstly, I appreciate all the fans understanding that this isn't what we would call a typical studio Halford release. It's far from it. The rest of the guys, Metal Mike, Z, Bobby, and Mike D, they were really cool about this idea when it was suggested. And they could have said no, and I would have understood it. But they actually rallied around the whole project. They kind of agreed that for themselves as well as everybody else, it was just something that was going to be a real joy and a pleasure to make, and that everybody in the band as well as all the metalheads around the planet enjoy that time of the year as well. And there's really kind of a limited supply of this type of music for the holiday season, so that was another thought of why we wanted to do it. But it was really a personal thing for me. You know, I love this the time of year that's looming right now. It's very special, and so yeah, this is just kind of a special release for the holiday season. There will be another Halford record from the Halford band at some point in the metal future. But for now, I'd like to feel that this is something we can all enjoy through the holiday season together.
Right. Now, Rob, I'm gonna take a reach here, and you can tell me I'm 100% right or 100% wrong, and that's fine.
Okay.
By doing a record like this, and kind of looking at also how vastly different Nostradamus was for Priest, does this in some ways kind of indicate that maybe you're not completely satisfied just doing straight ahead metal, and that you are still looking for different creative outlets, creative vibes, I guess, for yourself?
Yeah, that's it. Priest will always lead me in my life. I love that band more than anything else in the world. But the luxury of having a solo career enables me to really still fulfill all of these other musical journeys that I want to make, you know. And I dare say that there's no reason why Priest couldn't have made this type of record, but it was something that that was never really discussed, and the guys in the band have sent their best wishes for this release, and so I'm just really relishing all of these moments. You know, I'm a 58-year-old metalhead singer, and I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can and enjoy all the wonderful things that I can do while I've got the pipes to do it. So this is just another very special moment for me as a singer. But, you know, I just have to stress that I'm just the voice on this incredible release, that I have to constantly give credit to the guys in the band. When everybody slowly gets into the music from Winter Songs and listens to the fantastic musicianship of all of the players and the fantastic production that Roy Z did, I think we've all made a really cool thing together here, and I'm just very pleased with the final result.
Well, Rob, speaking of having the pipes to still get out there and sing, I had the pleasure of catching the 30th anniversary of British Steel this summer in Chicago. Chris saw it in Cleveland a couple of days before. And I'm going to ask you a question. I don't want you to take offense to this at all, but I just want to know where your mindset was. I've caught Priest every time they've come through town, and the last couple of times that I saw you, you didn't really move around the stage a whole lot. You know, you weren't too animated, but this tour, for some reason, you were just on fire, just hitting the high notes, moving around stage, thrashing, banging your head.
Yeah.
What was the change?
It's the best feeling in the world to be on stage, and it's funny because I was thinking about this the other day. You know, if you look at I was looking at myself last night on this great new release that's just come out from. Remember the Us Festival that happened in the 80s?
Sure.
The Big Us Festival. They've just recently released the DVD for that, and I was watching myself the other night, and I thought, God, is that me? I mean, it looks like another person completely. So I think that really, I'm just going through a lot of different transitions and changes. You know, I don't think I've had a specific style or approach that's kind of been locked in. I've always done something a bit different, and I'm certainly not as agile as I used to be.
Sure.
You know, travelling around the world for the last 40 years and so forth. I'm content with what I'm doing. However, that British Steel show was absolutely brilliant. The fans loved it. We loved playing all of that music. It just fired us all up, you know, and I suppose there was just a special energy that kicked in for that particular tour.
Sure. Well, it was highly notable, and I walked away from that show going, "Wow, now that was a show." So anyway, great show, and you know, this is a little off track here. I know you guys played the Loud Park Festival here recently.
We did, yes. It was the last show of the current world tour. Just a few weeks ago, we had the last show in Tokyo, in Japan.
Sure. Well, your former guitarist Rush Parrish is kind of making a lot of noise with that '80s tribute band Steel Panther.
Yeah, brilliant. I love that band.
What do you think of seeing Russ up there, you know, mimicking cliche '80s guys, but still playing brilliantly? And I think he's a better player now than he ever was.
It's because he loves to do what he's doing. He's always had that kind of mischievous side of his character. You know, he's a phenomenal guitar player, and I think he's found a niche that serves both sides of his personality. He can play guitar like he wants to play guitar, and he can just wrap it up in a really funny show. You know, I mean, the thing about what they're doing is you can only satirise great things that happen. That's why Spinal Tap was so huge, because it was based on greatness. You know, based on great things that happen in the metal and rock world. So I think it's the same with what Russ is doing right now with Steel Panther. They're certainly unique. There's nobody else like them, and I'm really happy for him, because he, he's getting success and he deserves it, and he's got a job like I do.
Excellent, Rob. Well, Rob, I want to look back a little bit now, especially now, obviously the touring run and the whole cycle, I guess, for Nostradamus has come and gone, and I'm sure you're well aware the reaction has been mixed at best. A lot of Priest fans, in all fairness, didn't latch onto it. I'll be honest, I'm one of those that didn't latch onto it. And I'm curious now, obviously for you and for the band, it was the creative element or creative piece of work that you guys felt you needed to put out there. But do you look back at it now and say, well, maybe that shouldn't have been a Priest record as much as a project?
Well, we said from day one, much like this Halford Winter Songs release, I think when you have bands, when you have artists that have had a long, distinguished career in no matter what they do, if there's something that seems to be a little bit unusual, then obviously the reaction is going to be different to what you would ordinarily look for. Mm-hmm. Having said that, I remember when Painkiller came out, and a lot of people didn't like the Painkiller record. And now it's become, revered as another classic metal release. So I'd like to think that that's probably what's going to happen with Nostradamus in the metal future. It was a big project, and it just takes a different kind of thinking process to understand it completely. And having said that, there are people that I enjoy that make releases that I'm not too keen or interested with. But it's nice to have the choice, isn't it? It's nice to have the choice, and it's nice to be in the company of people that are not afraid to do what they believe in, and just throw it out there, and you either embrace it or you move on. But it's done now, and I know all of us in Priest. I know this isn't a Priest interview, but I think I can speak for the rest of the guys in the band and say that we loved making Nostradamus, and that we had the best of times doing it, and we're optimistic about where we might go and what we might do with it in the future in terms of a live performance. Okay,
cool. And that, the fact that you were willing to take such a risk, that's almost always been a watermark of your career personally, whether you look at, even Winter Songs right now or Nostradamus or the Two Project. Yeah, they've all been wildly different than what, I'm a Judas Priest fan, this is what I'm buying, and then, especially Two, I think, is of the three of those, you listen to that and you're like, wow, this is something completely different.
Yeah, and I think that's just part of the territory that I carry as a solo artist. Even you look at the wonderful things that Priest has made over the years. Some people still kind of look at the Turbo album with an indifferent point of view or point of entry. Personally, I love both of those releases, but overall, I think that if you're a fan of what I do, or if you're a fan of Priest, there's something about expecting the unexpected. If you're a fan of a band that basically replicates itself time and time and time again and stays with one distinctive style and approach, and that's your cup of tea, then fine. But for myself, I like to experiment. I would rather leave a trail behind me of different choices and interest and different opportunities and chances, rather than leaving no trail at all.
Sure, absolutely. Well, Rob, speaking of unexpected, you and the band graciously took time this summer to meet with one of our hardcore fans, Jim Bartek, who just won't stop listening to Nostradamus. Be honest, was it kind of creepy meeting this guy?
No, it wasn't. It was a joy, because he's a really cool guy, and he's a hardcore fan, and he's like a Trekkie, or a Star Trekkie, or he's like a Star Warsy, or whatever those fanatics are called. those people are wonderful. You know, they just show you how much they love a particular band and that particular band's music. I wonder where he is today. I wonder how many times he's listened to it. I mean, he's definitely got to go into the Guinness Book of Records.
Well, Rob, I can actually tell you he's over 500 times now, and the streak is due to end. He's talking about putting an end to it on November the 21st. Would you like to take a moment and tell him not to?
Well, you know, Jim, firstly, you're a really special guy, because I think you've listened to that particular record more than anybody else on the planet now, and probably forever in the future. And you know, I suppose that there's a saying, all good things come to an end. Maybe you'll change. Maybe after 24 hours of no Nostradamus, you'll get withdrawal symptoms. Have to go back on the wagon, but or fall off the wagon, whatever it's called. But anyway, Jim, we thank you very much for your support. We genuinely do, and you certainly brought a lot of interest to the Nostradamus release, almost pretty much on a worldwide level, because I know people were talking about Jim all over the planet. So we got a bit of a bump from that. But anyway, I'm sure your dog is looking forward to listening to something different that sits with you each time you listen to Nostradamus. But we thank you, Jim, and thanks for being a fan.
Excellent, Rob. Well, real quick, Rob, I know that you've parlayed your long career into using the internet, and you've launched a couple of websites out there. You've got robhalford.com, and you've got metalgodshop.com and halfordmusic.com, and you're out there selling your wares and selling your music and selling metalgodapparel.com and all that good stuff. Could you tell us real quick a little bit about that, and how's that working out for you for internet or e-commerce, I guess it would be?
Yeah, it's a slow process, because, you know, I'm like a metal fish in a giant sea, because there are billions and billions of websites, or billions of internet users, and the struggle is to kind of get your internet face through the system. Really, all of these other companies have been launched from Metal God Entertainment, which is the basic the platform, the production platform for all of these other outlets. And I'm using myself in terms of a brand name to get all of these different companies established, but they won't exclusively be for myself. This whole Metal God endeavour in terms of the record company and the clothing company and whatever else we might do, even though that's what the fans have chosen to call me, and I love that. You know, they call me the Metal God. I think that in the future we'll be more broad based, and we're already looking for new talent on the Metal God label. So if anybody's listening and they want to send in some stuff, then go to robhalford.com and go through all the different directions to sending us a package of your band's CD or DVD or whatever. So, you know, it's baby steps, really. I mean, it's a long process, but the initial launch of the two key moments, the record company and the clothing company, doing really, really well. And I thank everybody for coming to the party and enjoying what we have to offer, and being on the same journey with us together.
Excellent, Rob. Well, Rob, Christmas is coming. You got the new Christmas release, and being that we mentioned all the websites, and you have a lot of gear and swag and music to offer, it's a great place for the metal fans to go over there and buy some Christmas stuff, huh?
Well, yeah, it's some choice. The metal community loves to get out there at the holiday season, like everybody does, and if you're inclined to check out the Metal God apparel, then it's easy to do so from your laptop, your desktop, your iPhone, whatever it is. Same with the music. I'd like to think that what I'm offering is in the general spirit of what all the other metal bands and people in our metal community do at this time of year. So again, I thank you for just giving me your time to check it out and making some choices.
Sure, absolutely. All right, Rob. Well, we don't want to take up your whole entire evening here, so
well, I appreciate it, fellas. I love what you do for the Metal God and for all of us in the heavy metal world at the Classic Metal Radio Show, and look forward to seeing you guys sometime next year, hopefully.
Excellent. Well, we're going to wrap up this interview with We Three Kings. How about that?
Thank you. That's a great track. It seems to have resonated with all of my friends in rock and metal radio. It's just a really, really cool song. It's a song that most of us know real well from when we were kids at school or whatever. And the treatment that Metal Mike and Z and Bobby and Mike D have given it is absolutely superb. So, yeah, let's spin it. Let's get everybody into the holiday season spirit with We Three Kings from Winter Songs, the new Halford release.
Well, here it is. It's We Three Kings exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Thanks for checking out the Best of the Classic Metal Show. You can tune into the Classic Metal Show live every Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com.
Classic Metal Show.